Fraudulent petitioners on Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge names, forge addresses, and forge signatures of registered voters.
Bombshell photo unveils damning Nithya Raman link with homeless voters as fury erupts over LA ballot count. So you got this image where Nithya Raman signed off on a grant as a district council member, $600,000 to a homeless shelter that the New York Post claims registered 185 voters to its address, or had 185 homeless registered voters. They funnel taxpayer dollars to shelters with no beds, to shelters that don't help people. And I don't trust her for 2 seconds that she did not know this, because it is a check from 2023. And everybody in 2011, when I was working down, 2010, when I was working down there, knew exactly what was going on. And the shelters were lying, claiming they were full when nobody was in them. I don't know if the DSA is funding it, but there are organizations that pay a salary to activists in California to go and literally fill out the ballot with them and bring it in for them.
Tim, James O'Keefe literally just did a story where they actually charged the woman that was doing this, where they were paying people like
$2 to $3.
$2 to $3.
Fraudulent petitioners on Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge names, forge addresses, and forge signatures of registered voters.
I mean, this is organized crime.
Fraudulent petitioners on Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge. There were 14 counts, primarily focused around payment for signatures, a violation of that California Elections Code 18603, claiming they had, quote, offered or gave money or other valuable consideration to another in exchange for his or her signature. So we found it particularly ironic that 2 police officers sitting nearby weren't even aware that this was a state or federal crime.
Because what then happens is some of these are voter registrations, and then a mail-in voter arrives at a homeless shelter, and then they can come.
And directly across the street from all of this is a homeless shelter called the Weingard Center, a, quote, comprehensive human services organization committed to removing barriers that keep people from housing. The 990 tax return shows the Weingard Center received $112 million through various grants in 2022. Lauren also claims the petitioners have to gather a certain amount of signatures and then provide proof to show that they aren't stealing the money, which is apparently provided to them by a higher authority, according to Jason Warren.
They say early voting and universal mail-in voting violate the law because they allow for elections outside of Election Day, and the law passed in 1945 says you get 1 day for an election. So I'm just going to say this.